Good morning students, welcome back to the chemistry class. So in today's class we are going to see some other chemical reactions. So in the previous classes we have seen about the combination reaction, then we have seen about the decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, and in today's class we are going to see double displacement reaction. So before that I would like to inform you that I have posted all the question answer of this chapter on school website, so kindly go through it. Okay, and let's start our class with double displacement reaction. Okay, so students, what is this double displacement reaction? Okay, in the double displacement reaction, the radicals of the two reactants exchange among themselves to form the new products. Okay, and in that one of the product will be in precipitate form. So this is the special characteristics of a double displacement reaction. So double displacement reaction is also known as double decomposition reaction. Okay, so both the reactions are same. Okay, so now there is some special characteristics of these reaction. Okay, so it's a very fast reaction. Okay, first of all, it is very fast reaction. Why? Because as soon as we mix the reactants, what will happen? Reaction will happen and precipitate formation will take place. Okay, and the precipitate which is being formed in these reactions, they have difference in color. Okay, the reactants will be having different color and the precipitate form will be having different color. Okay, so let's see some of the examples of the double displacement reaction. Okay, so very first example is of silver nitrate and sodium chloride. Okay, so when aqueous solution of silver nitrate, okay, silver nitrate AgNO3, so this is in the aqueous form. When it reacts with the aqueous solution of sodium chloride, okay, aqueous solution of sodium chloride, okay, so let's see the color. Okay, so both of these aqueous solution are colorless. Okay, they don't have any color. Now as soon as you will mix these two reactants, you will see the white precipitate of silver chloride, okay, AgCl, which is a solid which is formed as a precipitate, and then you will see sodium nitrate. Okay, so this is an aqueous form, so it will remain in the solution and this will form as a precipitate. Okay, okay, and the precipitate color is white. So as you can see here, the precipitate which is formed over here is having different color than the reactants. Okay, reactants were colorless and the precipitate form is white in color. So these reactions are very fast. As soon as you will mix the two aqueous solution, you will see the reaction happens. Okay, so I have told you that double displacement reaction is what? Is the reaction in which the radicals of the two reactants exchange. Okay, so let's understand this exchange. So as you can see here, in the case of silver nitrate, so it's form of the radicals Ag plus and nitrate. Okay, and in the case of sodium chloride, it is form of Na plus and Cl minus. Now exchange, how the exchange has taken place? The silver ion will combine with this chloride ion and this sodium ion will combine with that nitrate ion, as you can see here. Okay, exchange of radical is being taking place. Okay, so these are what? Double displacement reaction, because twice displacement we are watching over here in these reactions. Okay, next example is of barium chloride. Okay, so all these reactions you need to learn, and you need to learn the definitions also of each reactions which we are studying. Okay, so the next reaction is between the barium chloride and sodium sulfate. Okay, so aqueous solution of barium chloride, BaCl2, aqueous solution of barium chloride will be taken, and sodium sulfate, okay, Na2SO4. So both are aqueous solution. So when they are mixed together, what will happen? Again precipitate formation will take place. Okay, so before that I would like to tell the color of these two solutions which I am taking. They both are colorless. Okay, they don't have any color. Okay, so now salt formation will take place. Okay, so in that barium sulfate will be formed, BaSO4, which is a precipitate, and then sodium chloride, NaCl. Okay, so this will be in aqueous solution, means it will remain in the solution, and this will be precipitate. Okay students, so I would like to tell you the second way in which you can indicate the precipitate. Instead of writing solid, you have already learned in your 5th chapter, we can indicate precipitate by downward arrow also. So if we want to indicate the precipitate, we can use this downward arrow instead of that small s. Okay, so this also represents what? Precipitate. So this is the precipitate which is formed. Okay, and this is also white in color. Okay, so you can easily detect the precipitate formation because that will be what? White in color, and this will be what? Colorless. NaCl aqueous solution will be colorless. Clear? So I think these reactions are clear. So let's balance this equation also. Okay, let's see. Ba1, then here chlorine 2, chlorine is 1. Okay, so chlorine is not balanced. Sodium is also not balanced. S is balanced. Oxygen is also balanced. So in order to balance the sodium and chlorine, we can put 2 over here and the equation will get balanced. Okay. So while you write the equation, remember to balance that equation. Okay. So in this, how the exchange of radical is taking place, let's see. Now here the barium chloride is being formed by barium ion and chloride ion. Okay, Ba2 plus. Okay, and this sodium sulfate is formed by sodium ion and sulfate ion. Okay, 2 ions. Okay, so these are the radicals. Okay, which are being exchanged. Okay, let's see the exchange. Now here the barium ion will combine with sulfate radical and sodium ion will combine with chloride ion, or you can say radical. Okay, so both the radicals will exchange. You can see the exchange of the radical. So here, because barium radical is combining with the sulfate radical, so that is why this is formed, and sodium radical is combining with the chlorine radical. Okay, so that is why NaCl is being formed. Okay, so this is how the exchange of radical is taking place in the double displacement reaction. So I would like to repeat again, these reactions are very fast. As soon as you will mix the two reactants, the reaction will take place, and they occur with the precipitate formation. Okay, and the precipitate have color which is different from the two reactants which we have used. Okay, so these are the special characteristics of the double displacement reaction, or you can say double decomposition reaction. Okay, so this was all about the double displacement reaction. So now let us see about the neutralization reaction. Okay, so neutralization reaction is very common reaction which you have already read. Okay, so in today's class we will see some more examples of the neutralization reaction. While I was teaching about the exothermic reactions, in that I have discussed about the neutralization reaction. So this is the fifth type of reaction which we are going to read. Okay, neutralization reaction. Okay, so what are these neutralization reaction? In the neutralization reaction, acid reacts with base to form salt and water. So this is the basic characteristic of this reaction. Acid reacts with base to form what? Salt and water. Okay. So as you can see here, acid and base, what they are doing? While combining, they are losing their properties of acidic and basic nature, and they are forming the neutral products, salt and water. Okay, so they don't have any acidic or basic character. The products which are being formed over here have neutral character, and that is why the reaction is named as neutralization reaction. Okay, so let's see some of the examples which are discussed in your book. Okay, so here hydrochloric acid when combines with sodium hydroxide, then what will form? Salt, NaCl is formed, sodium chloride, and water will form. Okay, so let's see the balancing. Okay, balanced. Next is of hydrochloric acid when reacts with the potassium hydroxide. So these are what? Base, and these are acids. Okay, then potassium chloride is formed and water. Okay, so they will be in the aqueous state. These are in the aqueous solution state. Okay, this will be aqueous, this will be aqueous, and this will be liquid, and this will be liquid. Okay, so like this. Next reaction is of sulfuric acid when reacts with sodium hydroxide. H2SO4 when reacts with sodium hydroxide. So students, you have to just remember that in the neutralization reaction, it is fixed that salt and water will only form. So if water is formed, then what is left? Whatever left is what? Salt. So you can easily detect the salt formation also. Okay, so for that you have to learn the valencies also. If you will learn the valency, then only it will be easy for you to form the compounds. Okay, so here sodium sulfate is formed, which is salt and water. Okay, so this will be in the aqueous state, this will be in the liquid state. Okay, so I think these reactions are clear. Okay, let's see some other example. Hydrochloric acid when reacts with calcium hydroxide, then what is formed? Okay, so these are some of the acid and base which we are discussing now. Okay, hydrochloric acid when reacts with calcium hydroxide. Calcium valency is 2, so calcium hydroxide CaOH whole twice. Now in this case also salt is formed and water. So what is the salt? Calcium chloride, CaCl2, and water is 4. So let's see the balancing of it. Okay, H1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2. So we can see here the equation is not balanced. Okay, so chlorine is also not balanced. So if we put 2 over here, then what will happen? 2H4, and here it is 2. 2 over here, then 2 into 2 will be 4. Hydrogen is balanced, chlorine is also balanced, and oxygen got balanced. So equation got balanced. Okay, so while you write the equation, remember you have to balance the equation also. Now next is hydrochloric acid when reacts with the aluminium hydroxide, which is also a base. Okay, aluminium valency is 3. Okay, and hydroxide valency is 1. So all these things you have to learn, then only it will be easy for you to form the compounds. Okay, aluminium hydroxide, which is also in the aqueous state. So when they will combine, they will form salt, which is aluminium chloride, AlCl3, and water. Okay, so let's balance it. Here aluminium 1, then chlorine we can see it's not balanced. Then what about hydrogen? Hydrogen also not balanced. 1 2 3 4. Okay, and oxygen. Okay, so this is also not balanced. For that we have to balance it. Okay, so let's balance it. Chlorine, you can see 3. Okay, so if we write 3 over here, then chlorine is getting balanced, and hydrogen 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so 3 if we write here, then 3 into 2 will be 6. Oxygen got balanced, aluminium is already balanced. Okay, so equation got balanced by this. Okay, so I think these things are clear. Okay, so this was all about the neutralization reaction. Okay, now in your book, one activity is being discussed which will prove that the product which is formed in the neutralization reaction is neutral in nature. Okay, so let's understand the activity. For that activity, they have taken one conical flask. In that they have taken 5 ml of sodium hydroxide solution, which is a base. Okay, 5 ml of sodium hydroxide they have taken, and then some amount of water is being taken in a test tube and pour into the conical flask. Okay, and then what we have to do? We have to swirl the conical flask in order to mix them thoroughly. Okay, that water which we have taken and sodium hydroxide solution which we have taken, it should be mixed thoroughly. Okay, so now after that what we have to do? We have to put some drops of phenolphthalein indicator. Okay, so phenolphthalein is what? Is an indicator which indicates the presence of basic solution. If we want to detect whether the solution is acidic or basic or neutral, we will use one indicator, that is phenolphthalein. So 1 drop of phenolphthalein is being taken in this mixture, and then after that we have to pour drop by drop dilute hydrochloric acid. So already we have taken the base, in that we have added the indicator. Okay, so first of all I would like to tell you that how this phenolphthalein will show the basic character. Phenolphthalein is colorless, but if it is poured in the basic solution, its color changed to red. So this proves the presence of basic character. Okay, and the acid and neutral solution, the color will remain colorless, but in the case of basic solution, its color will change to red. So we have taken the base into this conical flask, that is NaOH. That is why the color of the phenolphthalein has changed to red. Now we have to pour this hydrochloric acid drop by drop through the dropper. Okay, so we have to pour this hydrochloric acid till the solution becomes colorless. Okay, so why the solution has become colorless after some times? Why? But because while we were pouring hydrochloric acid into this acidic solution, what happens? Neutral product, salt and water has formed, which is neutral in character. And I have told you that in the neutral solution, phenolphthalein color will be colorless. That is why the color disappeared due to the formation of neutral substance. Okay, so I think that this activity is clear. Okay, so read your book also. This activity is explained there also. Okay, so students, I think that in today's class, whatever I have discussed today is clear. Okay, go through all the chemical reactions and learn it. Okay, that's all for today, students. Thank you.